You're in Braves country.
Good afternoon, Braves country. Man, every time I go into this application to bring all the feeds to everybody, including the radio stations, they change something, and it screws everything up. So we are going to get real quick on this. We're going to talk more about this during the actual game itself, but it's the bullpen battle that's going on and kind of some obvious things that are sitting out there. It's Chris Sale Day today, so we get to see Chris Sale. Should get to see him at least 4 innings, if not even 5. They probably won't push it, but I would think we'd get to see him 4 innings and just make sure that he's still ready and rocking. And if you missed the good news on Jurickson Profar, he is expected to be ready for opening day. It is a bone bruise. They did an X-ray, came back negative. They did a CT scan last night and actually did 2 or 3 of them just to double check. Long story short, it's a bone bruise. They expect him to be ready for opening day. I don't know how many at-bats he'll get before March 27th. We are getting closer and closer to opening day. And if you look at it, you're talking about 17 days from now. My guess would be is that they hope to have him taking some at-bats by next weekend. Would be ideal just to keep the rust off of him. Even if they just want to have him DH, right? Just get some rust off of him, and he might even get a swing or 2 in the last game, which is Tuesday. More on that and more. We're gonna go over a lot of things during this game, as I got a bunch of notes and hopefully bring you a pretty fun ball game here, pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves, and of course. Always good to see everybody. We'll do roll call here in just a flash.
On a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is the Grapefruit League down in Florida. We're set to bring you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here's your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off for your Atlanta Braves, on the mound first. Let's hit that. On the mound for your Atlanta Braves, it's Chris Sale Day. He's going head-to-head versus Joe Boyle. Atlanta Braves come into today 7-5 on the spring training, 7-5-3 technically with the 3 draws, and Tampa Bay is 6-7 on the spring training season. Leading off for the Tampa Bay Rays, it's Diaz at first base, batting .222. Batting second, playing second, Lowe, batting .350 on the year. Jimenez is the designated hitter, batting .227. Lowe is in right field and batting cleanup, batting .190. Meade, who has been red hot, he's been the story of the Rays this spring training. He is batting cleanup and playing third base, batting .714 on the spring. Can you believe that? Jansen is back behind home plate, batting .313 on the year. Caballero is in left field and batting 8th, and Simpson is in center. And I saw a video on him, y'all. We've got to keep an eye on him. He is supposed to be one of the fastest guys on the planet. Can't wait to see this kid in action. Batting leadoff for your Atlanta Braves, Ozzie Albies, and playing second base. Batting second, playing third, Austin Riley. Ozzie is batting 200 on the year, Riley 286. Matt Olson, batting third, playing first, 211 on the year. Marcell Ozuna, batting cleanup and 250 average. Michael Harris II, batting fifth, a 167 clip. Brian De La Cruz is in right field and batting 368. Drake Baldwin is behind home plate, batting seventh with a 333 clip. And Eli White is in left field with a 500 average. With Orlando Arcia at short, batting 071. My pick to click today, give me the Ice House, Matt Olson. The weather started to clear up in Venice, Florida, and we're looking for this. The wind could be blowing out by the time it's all said. Give me Matt Olson to click on the probably 3 at-bats that we'll get from them today. Back behind home plate, it's Junior Valentine. Your first base umpire, Chris Segal. Second base, Ben May. And Tyler Jones is the third base umpire. We're just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Roll call is next. Give us a shout-out if you haven't already. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. Atlanta Braves baseball right here on Braves Country Radio. Your modern-day superstation is in its 5th season of bringing you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves and our one-of-a-kind production. Take us anywhere you go for over 170 Atlanta Braves ball games. Please like and subscribe today. Join the Country Club. Thank you to all the Country Club members. You help support Braves Country Radio.
Get this bus moving.
Stop.
Come back.
Too late.
Roll call! Yeah, roll call!
You're in Braves country.
Good to see you pushing buttons. Robert's in the chat. John. Taku, I remember you from last year. Good to see you. Hellion. I'm sure everyone's got as late getting into the chat as this game on a Monday. Kind of difficult for some folks to navigate and pretend like you're working. Remember, invest in the earbuds and look busy at your computer. David S., good to see you. Who else do we have here? Thought I saw one more. If I missed anybody, give me a holler. We're just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Appreciate that, pushing buttons. We got more of those today. I think today we're doing, which one is due today? It's the National League West. We've got, I think, the American League West tomorrow. We're doing it for all of them. If y'all have missed any of the projections, we are going to continue to play them throughout spring training. And then obviously we'll stop because we don't want to look terrible. All right, let's get it. Pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves coming up next.
Folks, join us now for another Braves ball game. Yes, sir. Why, we'll send you the play-by-play. And your seat right bang behind home plate. So, let's see what's going on the docket. This is the one we've been waiting for. This is it. This makes you feel like it's spring and baseball. No more measles and free tickets to the circus.
You're in Braves country.
is a reminder, disorderly conduct will not be tolerated. Please respect your fellow fan and refrain from any unruly behavior. Failure to comply with these guidelines will result in ejection. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We direct your attention now to home plate.
Please remain standing. We call your attention to our fans here today. They will be jointly directed. And now, another fixture. Our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Play ball!
Welcome in, Braves country. We're just about set. Double check and make sure that they're not on some kind of a delay. And unfortunately, there has been turmoil in the tech world. And so it's been really difficult to try to check for everything because X has been crashing all day. I don't know what's going on with that, but they might want to get Doge to look into that. We're trying to pull it up right now. They should have started already. That is the issue. They should have started already. So... and they did have rain in the area, but Honest Engine, it looked like that it was already passing through. So let me double check and see. I mean, there's no real reason for them not to be playing right now. So we're going to continue to try to figure this out. And nothing is coming up. Like their entire website has crashed, and that's really where you get all the updates from. So with all that being said, it's a little concerning that we cannot get a hold of. Normally wouldn't care about it, but as of right now, it kind of hurts. I'm trying to go on another. It keeps going in and out. I don't know how many of y'all are on these social media platforms, but X is the one you always go to find out what's going on with the weather. And I'm looking up the weather on different sites, and it looks like it's fine. But X is where you would find out where the game is at as far as if there's any kind of a delay. So I'm going to try to figure this out as we go. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I hope to have some kind of an answer on why in the world this game hasn't started yet.
I should have gone to law school or high school.
Mike Schmidt batting .286, 10 homers. He's knocked in 29. He's tied for second in the league in home runs behind Eric Davis, who has 13 of them. Schmidt, Dawson, and Durham of the Cubs each have 10. 1-1 to Schmidt. Schmidt lifetime is hitting just .189 against Nolan Ryan. 7 hits and 37 at bats. 5 of those 7 hits have been home runs. Struck him out. First strikeout for Ryan. That's 2 down here in the first.
But, you know, I want to say one thing in all seriousness. I feel sorry for you people that don't drink. I mean it, because when you wake up in the morning, that's as good as you're going to feel all day.
Armchair.
Babe, do you like my new nails?
Let me see them. Yeah, those are cool. I probably
You like the red?
I like the bubble bath ones better, but those are alright.
How do you know what bubble bath is?
What do you mean? Like, everybody knows that.
From who? Because I've never gotten those.
You haven't?
No. How do you know what those are? Who have you been hanging with?
What do you mean?
How do you know what those are?
No, I do like yours, though. They look good.
Armchair.
You think about it. What is there in your life, besides your love of family maybe, that carries all the way through from almost your earliest recollections till the day you die, and you care about it in one way or another? There are very, very few things that make that list. We come to things at various times in our lives when we can comprehend them, when we have an interest in them. But we have a child's interest in baseball, in my case from the time I was 5. I can't imagine never having an interest in baseball. So it will be one of the few things in my life that I have cared about in one way or another all the way through.
Why is there a pancake in the silverware drawer?
I mean, why is there silverware in the pancake drawer?
Basketball players want to be football players, and football players want to be basketball players, and we all want to play baseball. Like,
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
Okay, if you were in the 20s, in the 80s, how did you get your hair to stay? Okay, because I am spraying. I am really spraying, and I am teasing. But in 20 minutes, this is gonna be gone. How did you do it? Because that was up here. And as far as I'm concerned, it was there all day. So if you know, please let me know, because I'm trying to recreate your look. And I don't know how to do it, okay? Because I was born in 1999. Thank you so much. Love you. Bye.
The ref wants to fight. See him? He's like, fight
it's
me.
Offsides.
Right, they're on the side. He's like...
No, he's calling offsides.
Oh, I didn't know. Cussing.
No, it's a false start.
Oh, false start. Same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Oh, okay. Look, power to the people.
Fourth down.
Oh, fourth down. I mean, that's fourth down.
Yeah, that's fourth down.
Illegal hair pull.
Illegal substitution.
Nose punch.
Face mask.
Illegal leg stretch. You can't stretch.
Roughing the kicker. Do you even watch football?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Look, he's so bad he just kicked the ball.
It's a field goal.
Ref's like, why'd you kick the ball? If I was the ref, I'd probably go talk to him. I'd probably be like, you can't just be kicking the ball because you're mad.
It measures just 9 inches in circumference, weighs only about 5 ounces, and is made of cork wound with woolen yarn, covered with 2 layers of cowhide, and stitched by hand precisely 216 times.
Welcome back. So we are in a weather delay, but it doesn't look like it's much of one. Pulled up the radar. There's nothing in the area. I think it was probably just poor planning across the board because the rain stopped in the area about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, but they may not have the same equipment to be able to get the field ready. So essentially, I'm expecting it to be a very short weather delay, not much one of it at all. to be honest with you. But while we are waiting, we're going to go ahead and play one of the Once Upon a Pastime series. But pick one of the shorter ones, because I don't think we're going to be doing this very long, maybe just a few minutes. But they weren't showing anybody on the field, and if you're just joining us, X has been down all morning, and it's been going up and down. I'll get it from time to time, but then it cuts out. So there's no real way to be able to communicate and find out what's going on. So we're going to look around. I'm going to do some investigating on a couple of the other platforms and find out what the first pitch may be, but it shouldn't be very long at all. And like I said, we'll have pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves when we come back. All right, while we're sitting here, we are going to do the salute to radio history. Once again, we're in a weather delay, and we'll be back as soon as I'm thinking within 10 to 15 minutes. We'll either be playing or know the exact time of when the first pitch is.
Armchair.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
Why did you get so drunk?
You got drunk. I'm just really exhausted.
What's in that cup?
Armor Cokes.
Do you have any idea how important this is? We're trying to save the pump. Really? This is what you're doing?
Chief, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Armchair.
YouTube Live. Radio station. The radio station you can call your own. Do you know what listeners like about our station?
I like everything. It's always on my radio. We never stop the music, except for now, when I talk.
Dandy day for a ball game. And a nice crowd out here to see the Yankees making their last appearance at Maven Field for 1934. We hope before the ball game gets over that Babe Ruth gets in it. I'd like to see Babe take one more swing this season, but his leg is pretty sore. He takes a bit of batting practice, but not very much. Manager Cochran's Charlie Horse is better, but still not cured. That's why he's out of today's game. The wind is blowing toward left center field. Lanup and Lou Gehrig is the batter with the bases loaded and one out. The crowd is getting rather tense. The score is 2-1 in favor of the Yankees. This is the third inning. Marbury is raising quite a bit of dust out there as he kicks the ground around to get better footing. He's been off in his pitching. His control has been bad. Here's the pitch to Gehrig, and it's high outside, ball one. A high, hard one. Gets the sign from Hayworth, starts the motion. Here's the pitch. A bounder over second base for a hit into center field. Broca scoring, followed by Rolfe. Selkirk reaching third. Makes the score 4-1 in favor of the Yanks. That seems to be all for Marbury. Time is called, and Hamlin comes in from the bullpen to relieve Marbury, who has allowed 4 runs and 6 hits in 2 1/3 innings.
Good afternoon to you, baseball fans. So, my name is Mac Magee. If you have not followed Braves Country Radio before, just going to give you a real quick outline of what we're going to do today. This is for the baseball fan. So, long story short, there was a baseball show that went on for well over 40 years. In fact, I think 47 years, if I am being accurate, and it was called the Annual Salute to Baseball. The gentleman has since stepped away. His name was Jonathan Schwartz. He no longer does the Salute to Baseball, and it's a lot of he said, she said stuff that led to him walking away. But then, of course, age. I mean, he'd been in radio for well over 50 years. But he loved baseball, so you got to realize this began, I think, 1971. Was the original year, But he loved baseball so that he just was not willing to focus on the Super Bowl every Super Sunday. And I talked about doing this last year, and so we decided we're going to go ahead and give it a try. This will be an annual tradition. Won't take up much of your time on Super Bowl Sunday. We know the Super Bowl has become a much bigger thing than when he first started. Now, the difference between what he did and what we are going to do, he just played a lot of songs based on the world of baseball. We are going to talk about the game of baseball, the love of it, the history of it, and the clip you just heard was one of the oldest recordings of a full baseball game. It was 1934. It was the Tigers and Yankees. And what you're hearing is Babe Ruth being out of that game because of an injury. And that was the great Lou Gehrig getting a base hit. Now, why that game is important is because the New York Yankees finished 7 games behind those Detroit Tigers. The Tigers would go on to the World Series, and they would lose in 7 games to the famous Gas House Gang of the St. Louis Cardinals. But it's a neat clip to listen to. You see the difference. Now, what you don't realize is that thing was edited. We had to chop it up because there are long gaps in the broadcast that you would literally fall asleep in nowadays world. Nowadays, there was no way you would sit through just the awful dead air. But realize radio was new. It had only been around for about a little over a decade. They'd only been doing baseball games for a little less than that. And they weren't consistently broadcasted baseball games, radio baseball games, until about that time. And I thought today it would be fun to talk about the beginning of baseball on the radio. Each year we're going to dive into something else, and we'll do other things each year, but I do want to do this one first. Now, why are we not doing this with any kind of video, whether you're listening to it on YouTube or you're listening to it on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts on Braves Country Radio? We're doing this because we want to be legitimate to the times of the original Salute to Baseball, which started in 1971, which obviously there was no simultaneous video. So this show will be a throwback going forward. The first baseball game that was ever broadcasted was the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Philadelphia Phillies way back on August 5th, 1921. And it was the famous KDKA of Pittsburgh. Pirates won that game against the Phillies 8-5. Harold Arlen was the play-by-play man, basically known in those days as the staff announcer. He would go on to be the world's first full-time salaried announcer in broadcast radio. He worked as an engineer and later a foreman for Westinghouse. He was hired by KDKA as a part-time announcer in 1920, and by the mid-1920s, he was on salary. He also read over the air the returns of the 1920 presidential election. That was a first, where Warren Gene Harding over James Cox. And just a side note on that, before we get back into the baseball, Arlen would continue to do tennis on radio. I mean, I can't imagine listening to that. I mean, that I can tell you right now, when you listen to the early days of the radio, not only is it there a lot of crackling, but they didn't really know what they were doing. And what I mean by that is it was just kind of a go out there and wing it. Now, obviously, as the years go on, you end up getting very talented broadcasters who have an idea going in what they're doing, the Vin Scullys, the Red Barbers, and they're able to paint the picture. But the original pioneers, they were just kind of told, hey, go out there and see what you can do. 1921 on August 6th, the day after the baseball broadcast, Arlen announced the first radio broadcast of a tennis match over KDKA as well. It was a quarterfinals match in which Australia was playing Great Britain at the Allegheny County Club in Pittsburgh for the Davis Cup. It's a lot of history here, right? Australia beat Great Britain, by the way, 3-2, and went all the way to the finals to lose to Japan 4-1. But that made history as well. On October 8th of that year, Arlen, from the same box seat at Forbes Field that he used to do the Pirates and Phillies broadcast, provided play-by-play of the Backyard Brawl. If you listen to our Once Upon a Pastime series, you know what that is. was a college football game between the University of Pittsburgh Panthers and West Virginia Mountaineers. Pittsburgh won that game 21-13, but the idea is Harold Arlen is an absolute legend in the radio business. Now, you can argue back and forth on whether or not he's one of your top ones. It doesn't matter. He was a pioneer and really paved the way and showed a willingness to go out there and broadcast anything he could do to bring it to you live. But back to the game of baseball on radio, KDKA and WJZ of Newark, New Jersey, broadcast the first World Series on radio between the New York Giants and the New York Yankees with Grantland Rice, if you're familiar with him. And for you Murfreesboro, Tennessee folks, if you don't know who Grantland Rice is, you need to go and investigate him. But the point is, he's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He was born in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and became one of the great writers in the history of sports writing, graduating from Vanderbilt. But Grantland Rice and Tommy Cowan called the games for KDKA and WJZ, but the broadcasters were not actually at the game. But you got to be sitting there going, well, how the hell did they do that? Nowadays, I do it all the time, watching a stream of a baseball or a football game and bringing you what I see in real time. But you got to realize back then, not only was there no television, there was no internet. So what did we do? Well, they would wait for the news, the information, from a telegraph wire. And as that telegraph wire would come in, and they would be very generic information. And this went on for quite some time on a lot of the radio broadcasts throughout the country. In fact, it's not until about 20 years later that most of your games are being called play-by-play physically at the game. Now your bigger cities, New York, Boston, we're talking about the Red Sox, the Braves, the Yankees, the Giants, the Dodgers. They had all started to implement broadcast booths, but your smaller market teams, a lot of them, first of all, they weren't traveling with the team for road games, and that was pretty common across the board, but a lot of them would sit in the radio station, wait for the telegraph to come across the wire, and they're not getting a complete description. What they're getting is either some of them were so basic they would just tell you it was an out. As they got better, they would tell you that it was a ground out or a fly out, etc., maybe even a strikeout. And then as it got more and more up to date, they actually started getting the balls and strikes called very regularly. And when that happened, they were really being very liberal on what they saw because they weren't seeing anything. So it would be things like, just to give you an example, as opposed to actually seeing it happen, you would see it come across the telewire and it would say ball. Well, I'll just give you an example. Let's say it's today's baseball, and let's say it's Spencer Strider pitching against the Philadelphia Phillies, and I get ball. It would be up to me to say something to the effect of, here's the wind up the pitch, high heat inside, almost gets him. It's 1-0. But there's no telling what the hell happened. He could have thrown a slider in the dirt. The ball could have been high and away with no runners on base. It could have bounced off the catcher's glove. So you can imagine these guys really had to become very, very creative. So when they finally got to the point where they could see the game, you can imagine that's why some of these guys were just elite. When it finally came around, they were actually able to see the game. It's like giving a blind man vision instantly. The job itself is going to become a lot easier, but the expectations are going to be higher. So back to what was going on in the world of baseball with these radio broadcasts. For the 1923 World Series, Grantland Rice was joined on Westinghouse for the first time by Graham McNamee. Now, McNamee was given the Ford Frick Award, which is the Baseball Hall of Fame's once a year they give a broadcaster the award. And he was given the award back in 2016. It was long overdue. Now, here's the thing about McNamee. During the 1923 World Series, Grantland Rice was the main broadcaster, but during the fourth inning of Game 3, he turned the microphone over to McNamee. This was the start of his career, essentially, and McNamee becomes the first color commentator in the history of radio baseball. Before that, all you ever had was just the one guy giving play-by-play, very much like Vin Scully is known for. And still pretty much my favorite version. It's why I do most of my games Solo. I know you can argue that back and forth, and some people have their different reasonings for liking different things, but I'm a traditionalist, and that's why I do prefer it. There are times where we do bring guys in, but there's a rhythm that you can get into when you're by yourself on a broadcast that really takes a while to work for a color commentator and play-by-play guy. If we ever added a color commentator to Braves Country Radio, it would have to be someone that made a commitment to be on every broadcast, because getting that rhythm, I guess the best way I can... Welcome in. We are just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves as the umpires are starting to hit the field, and we're expecting first pitch here in just the next couple of minutes. It's Chris Sale Day today, and to update that, Aaron Bummer, Jake Diekman, Dylan Lee, and Daysbull Hernandez are all expected to pitch as well. So we could be looking at 5 innings from Sale, but if he has a high pitch count, you can add another pitcher to the mix. But that is the game plan today. They released that moments ago. X is finally back up and working, but don't expect that to last forever. I'm saying it's been up and down all morning. I saw someone say it's down for me too. Yeah, I'm not special. They didn't just block me off the internet. Braves are going to be wearing their classic home uniforms, home spring uniforms they've been wearing the last few years, with the white pants, dark blue tops, Atlanta across the chest in red, tomahawk underneath, all outlined in white. Numerals are red on the back, outlined in white, and the names across the back in white. We'll have I really like the spring training hats this year, the red spring training hats with the blue bill and the blue A. So, talking about the guys that will pitch today, Bummer, Diekman, Lee, and Daysbull Hernandez. Looking at some of these setups, honestly, what we're probably going to be looking at here in the very near future is they're going to have to start making some decisions on who they send into what direction, right? And one of the things that they're going to be doing is looking at that bullpen. And you'll probably see it cut down quite a bit next week as we start to round towards the final days of spring training. You've got this week and you've got all next week. After that's pretty much over. Monday and Tuesday, they are playing a couple of games the week of opening day, but it's going to be in Arizona against the Cubs. And at that point, most of the guys will not play. You might have some guys want to get a swing or two in, but other than that, they're not going to play. So what we really have here is we have about 2 weeks left of spring training to figure out the bullpen. And you're looking at this bullpen, obviously Iglesias is the closer. And the setup man, that's up for debate, but I still believe Daysbull Hernandez, even though he does have options, will make the opening day roster, just because he's got good stuff. Now, he's been hit hard a couple of times in the spring, but I think he's going to straighten it out and be able to make the team, mainly because a lot of the other guys just aren't jumping off the page. We'll get on that in a second as the Braves are starting to head out towards the field, which means Chris Sale will start doing his warm-up tosses. So you got Dylan Lee and Aaron Bummer from the left-hand side that are almost shoo-ins. This is all assuming health. Pierce Johnson, Iglesias are shoo-ins, and I still believe Hernandez is going to be that 5th shoo-in. He's really going to have to pitch poorly these next couple of weeks for them to take him down. So at that point, you have 3 slots open. Angel Perdomo, left-hander, he has no options, and he had 29 innings pitched in 2023 before his Tommy John surgery and 44 strikeouts. Numbers that jump off the screen. The problem is he's out of options, and the Braves will have to do a couple things to be able to keep him if he doesn't improve. He's not really impressed, especially on the strikeout rate here in the spring, which is why they brought him in. Anderson Pilar is a Rule 5 pitcher, meaning if we do not put him on the opening day roster, or at least on the 40-man, he would have to go through waivers and then be offered back to the Marlins who originally had him, and then the Braves could sign him. Not likely to happen there. Buck Farmer I like as our 6th shoe-in. He local guy that has pitched very well over the last couple years. Doesn't have a high strikeout total, but that's okay when you're getting ground balls, especially when you have a good defense like the Braves do. And then if you want a wild card, Eniel De Los Santos has pitched really well, and the coaching staff really like him. Hector Neris is another one in the mix. They signed him a few weeks ago. I have yet to be able to see him pitch because the few times he's been in, it has not been televised. So Hector Neris is a big question mark. We are just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. And yes, sir, it is baseball time in Braves country. First pitch on the way is a fastball from Chris Sale, the big left-hander. Lefty-righty matchup, it's 0-1. Lefty-righty, here's the pitch, swung on and sliced foul down the right field line and out of play. So an 0-2 count to get us started off here. Braves infield is back and to the left. Outfield pretty straight away, shaded a little bit to the right. The 0-2, sliced towards the right center field gap, but drifting over, making the catch is Brian De La Cruz. One away. One down. And then we'll have other people showing back up here, as I think a lot of people thought the game may be canceled. We are sending out alerts now to all the stations that we are back on. So if you are back on with us, welcome to Braves Country Radio. You can find us on youtube.com/Braves Country. First pitch on the way from Sale, lefty-lefty matchup, is a strike to low. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swung on, chops it over towards second base. Ozzy's got it. Overhands it to Olsen. One down. Two down, excuse me. Two down. 4-3 in your scorecard. F9 if you missed the first one. The first pitch on the way from Sale is swung on and sliced. Foul down, out of play. It's 0-1. Braves nothing, Rays nothing. Top of the first inning. Chris Sale day. We're expecting him to go about 4 to 5 innings depending on the pitch count. The 0-1. Slice foul and out of play. 0-2. My guess would be it's closer to 4 innings. Unless he has some really quick innings. And if we see anything pop on the NFL news, we will try to send that along to you too. I got Jason and a couple other guys keeping an eye on that for me to give me alerts. The 0-2. Outside wide, 1-2. But if y'all see anything, put it in the chat, because it's always good to find out what's going on. The 1-2 from Sale brings it. Swung on, just got a piece of that one. Chops it back foul behind home plate. We'll do it again. Eloy Jimenez, who came over on a cheap veterans deal, was once one of the biggest prospects in baseball. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him with the slider down below the knees. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. Braves and Rays, spring training ball.
So I just got pulled over. I was doing about 70 and a 55. And this cop, he asked me, he said, you know why I pulled you over? I said, no clue. So he said, well, he's going 74 and 55. He said, let me have your driver's license. I said, I ain't got none. He said, what about registration? I said, I ain't got none of that either. He said, well, how come? I said, I don't know, but don't open that glove box. I got a pistol in there, and I just shot my husband. He's under that tarp in the back of the truck. This joker runs back, and next thing I know, there's cops everywhere, and the big dog walks up to me, and he goes, ma'am, can I see your driver's license? I handed it to him. He said, what about your registration? Gave him that. He said, open up that glove box. I did. There wasn't nothing in it. Tars under the tarp. He said, my deputy called me and told me that you didn't have no license or registration and a dead man and a pistol, I don't know what all. And I said, I bet you that lying son of a gun told you I was speeding too, didn't he?
And the fans feel like they know you and they want to get to know you. And I think that was probably the one strike against Mike. He didn't want them to get to know him. He wanted to just be great at baseball.
In the end, the Phillies would hold on to win the NL East title in 1976 with a franchise record 101 wins, and Schmidt leading the National League in homers for a third straight year and winning his first Gold Glove. But in the championship series, the Phillies were outclassed by the reigning World Series champs, Cincinnati's Big Red Machine.
Shot for right side. Here comes Concepcion. And the 1976 pennant belongs to the Reds. The Reds have scored 3 in the 9th inning and have swept the Philadelphia Phillies.
Although we got beat in the playoffs by the Cincinnati Reds, 76, we might have had one of the best Philly teams ever. Unfortunately, we disappointed our fans in the postseason, as well as us.
Welcome back to Braves Country Radio. First pitch on the way to Ozzie Albies is a fastball by Joe Boyle off the plate wide. It's 1-0. Putting that there on the screen there for those of y'all on TikTok, we've just begun Braves Country X. Planning on doing a lot more other stuff, but right now we're just putting the historical videos up. The 1-0. Down the line, look at it and double check. It is a strike. It's 1-1. Essentially, we're going to be doing some lives on there as soon as we get the subscriptions up. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. We're going to be, the plan is as soon as we get it going and get enough subscribers where we can do lives, because they have all kinds of regulations before you can do lives. Once we do that, that's where we're planning on doing the post-game show. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Ozzie chased looked like a sinker down and away. 1 down. 1 down. Austin Riley, the batter, batting .286 with an .842 OPS on the spring. The first pitch on the way is high and out of the zone. It's 0-1. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Braves nothing, Rays nothing. The 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Good to see you, James and Edward Spry. If I might have missed you, we're doing the roll call. I don't think y'all were here yet. Just getting going for those y'all that may have missed it as the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Braves had a bit of a rain delay. There was no rain in the area. They were just taking a little extra time to manicure the field is essentially what I read. It did rain quite a bit here in Florida over the last 24 hours. So it stopped there at Cool Today Park around 10:30, but they were just making sure that they had all their ducks in a row before they put the players out there on the field. The first pitch on the way to Olsen is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. James says it's raining there. Where are you at, James, right now? The 1-0 swung on, pops it up high in the sky. Coming over, making the catch at shortstop. Man, he had really had to battle that On the play, Williams making the fair catch at about the 45-yard line. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. 0-0 heading to the second.
Suspect says she missed a spot while shaving, but it appears to be the whole leg.
Suspect does not have a receding hairline. He swears it's been like that since he was little.
It has. Look at the picture. Suspect does not have acne, just one major humongous zit at a time.
Suspect is currently on foot, but may take flight by flapping his ears here pretty soon.
Suspect looked like she's running for the first time in her entire life.
Suspect is currently wearing those half socks girls usually wear with ballet flats.
Thankfully, suspect is not in a car. She failed her driver's test multiple times.
Don't bring that up right now. If the suspect gets away, he calls his mom about 20 times a day so we can ask her where he is.
Suspect always takes other people's jokes, tries to add on to them, just makes them worse, and it gets really awkward.
I'm gonna cry.
Phillies won 101 games and repeated as NL East champs, returning to the LCS, this time to face the Dodgers. The clubs split the first 2 games of the best-of-5 series. And then in Game 3, the Phils had a 2-run lead with 2 outs in the 9th, just 2 strikes away from a World Series.
It's called Black Friday.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
The 2-strike pitch, fly ball deep left. Lozinski going away back, and this ball is a double for Manny Mota. Gets away, coming in to score Davalillo. Mota will hold the third. Not an error as the ball got away. It's now a 5-4 ball game, and this game not over yet. Here's Davey Lopes' game on the line. Ground ball on net to Boa. A throw. No, not in time. This game is tied.
Davey Lopes hit a ground ball to my left that went off my glove, bounced straight to Larry Boa, barehanded the ball, threw it to first, and by all angles, Davey Lopes was out.
To this day, I'll go to my grave, he's out. If we have instant replay, he's out, and we might have another ring on our finger.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way from Chris Sale is right down the pipe for a strike. Lefty-lefty matchup versus Lowe. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Slider off the edge. Tried to get him to chase. 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Josh Lowe, brother of Nathaniel Lowe, who plays for the Washington Nationals, takes the 1-1 inside 1-2. And it's very confusing because if you look at Brandon Lowe, it's actually Brandon Lau, I believe, is the 1-2 down and away. 2-2. He has played for Tampa Bay his entire career. Josh, who's at the plate right now, is the 2-2. Up top misses. Full count. Has played with Tampa Bay his entire career. But his brother Nathaniel played for Tampa in 2019 and 20, then went to Texas, and now is in Washington. So it's extremely confusing. And it's all spelt the same. The payoff pitch is rattle back foul. We'll do it again. The payoff pitch from Sale. Lefty. Baldwin set up on the outer part. The pitch swung on and lifted into center field, right center field, coming over, and it's going to drop between Harris and De La Cruz. There was a huge gap right there. Harris was playing straight away, shading towards left, and they had Cruz playing almost hugging the line. So when he dropped it in that area, it was kind of a Bermuda's Triangle of uh-oh. Curtis Mead, the batter, the hottest hitter on the planet, batting .714. We did a Rays game recently, and he was swinging the hot bat, and I was shocked today to see that his numbers were still up this high, batting .714 on the spring. First pitch on the way is right there, P at the knees. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Curtis Mead, his second full season will be with the Rays. He came up in 2023 and got 83 at-bats. The 0-1. Right down the pipe off the edge. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. If you're wondering, his career average is 244. His OPS is just 612, so he is hitting out of his mind right now. The 0-2 misses high, 1-2. Now that's the negative view at it. If you look at the positive view at it, Mr. Curtis Mead is only 24 years old. So he could just be starting to scrape the top of his trajectory as the 1-2's down and in, 2-2. He is from Adelaide, Australia, so he did not play college ball here in the States. And it was said by one of the folks who scouted him that he had a Rolls-Royce swing. The 2-2 pitch swung on. That ball's dragged in between second and third. A diving attempt by Riley just goes underneath his glove, and it's runners on first and second. Nobody out, and Curtis Mead continues his hot hitting, now batting .727 in the spring. Holy cow. First pitch on the way is outside for a strike. It's 0-1. First and second, nobody out. The pitch on the way. Down and in, 1-1. Kind of had a rocky start because of the rain delay. Real quick, we're going to hit the roll call. Good afternoon, Hellion and Robert is the 1-1 pitch. Did he go around? He did, 1-2. John Jameson. I think I might have missed that the first time up. Robert Taku. David S. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Pulled the string on that one. That was a pretty slider. Good first out of the inning here for Mr. Chris Sale. Pushing buttons, good to see you. And I know I saw Shea and James. First pitch on the way, swing and fouls it straight back by Williams. It's 0-1. The 0-1, Edward Spry. Oh, 0-1 count, runners on first and second, one down, a twin killing would get us out of this jam. The 0-1's fisted back foul, 0-2. Nate, good to see you. If anybody does want to play the fantasy baseball, we do have a slot or so open here in the league, free to play. Just play for bragging rights. The 0-2. Swung on and ripped over to third. Backhanded by Riley. It's going to be a 5, 4, 3. Inning-ending, rally-killing double play. So they get a couple on but can't get them across. We'll grab the bats. Bottom of the second we go. Nada here at Cool Today Park.
I love it when people apologize when they're wrong, but I need to get better about accepting apologies, because sometimes they'll be like, hey, sorry I've been such a lately, and I'll be like, lately? Who's lately?
So this little boy looked at his dad and said, hey, Dad, what is dark humor? And the dad said, look over there, son. You see that guy with no legs? And the little boy said, Dad, I'm blind. He said, you're welcome.
When I go out to dinner, I don't share plates, okay? There's always those people that are like, should we just like order a bunch of things and like sample? No, because this isn't the grocery store and we don't have those little toothpicks. How do you split a deviled egg 7 ways? We're human size, all right? We're not Smurfs, Okay, we don't need to be sharing a tomato. And someone in the group's always like, oh, you should just finish that last piece there. Oh, the 1/14 of a chicken thigh that has more human DNA on it than most crime scenes? No, I'm good, thanks.
When people are like, oh, just trust your gut. Oh, my gut, the one that can't even handle dairy. And I feel like I may need different advice.
And ain't no sense sitting around worrying about one play or one call, one call by the umpire or anything like that. It comes right down to, hey, we got to hit. If we're as good as people say we are and we deserve to be in the World Series and we're the best team in baseball and all that business, we got to prove it right out there with our bat.
Yeah, bad memories, Black Friday.
The following season would only bring a painful rerun, with the Phillies winning the NL East for a third straight year, but then coming up short against the Dodgers again in the championship series. As for Schmidt, a pattern was developing. For the second straight postseason, he had no home runs and only 1 RBI. When the fans let him know how disappointed they were, his frustrated response came with unusual honesty.
I've decided that I deserve to be booed. There's no question about it. If I had a boo sign in my back pocket, I'd pull it out and help them.
What's up, Braves country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves season. See you off the ballpark.
Welcome back. 0-0 your score. We got an 0-1 count on Marcell Ozuna. Righty-righty matchup. Pitch on the way, swing and the miss. Boyle with the sinker down and away. It's 0-2. Thank you, James. The 0-2. Swung on and lifted into the foul territory. Coming over, making the catch for the first out is Diaz, the first baseman of the Rays. 1 away. 1 down, and Michael Harris, the second, will come to the plate. His bright neon green shoes. Bright neon, predominantly bright neon gloves. He's got a little red and blue in there as well. First pitch on the way, swung on, pops it up. High in the sky. Who wants it? Can of corn coming over, making the catches. Williams just past the right of the second base bag. The shortstop came very close to tripping over second base. 2 down. Two down. That'll bring the right-handed stick of Brian De La Cruz to the plate. De La Cruz takes the first pitch, down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. He's got a 368 average this spring with an 842 OPS, 1 RBI. Really been one of the more consistent hitters in this spring. The 1-0, below the knees, 2-0. I know that doesn't tell all, but one thing you can say about your starters when you're looking at their numbers, they predominantly are hitting against pitchers that will be on opening day for these teams. The 2-0, ball is rattled over towards short. Should be an easy play. It is. 6-3 put out, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. 0-0 at Cool Today Park.
I had a meeting this morning with all 12 people in my head, and we decided that we're not going to be crazy no more.
So this map shows America's most Googled Thanksgiving recipes based on the state. And it's crazy to see that the South ain't Googling anything. The South they are good. They're either hearing from an auntie or they already know exactly what's happening. Meanwhile, you got people searching for mashed potatoes. Jell-O? Y'all really pulling up to Thanksgiving with Jell-O?
You know, the closer it gets to Christmas, the more I realize these kids don't even look like me.
Every time I go out with my wife, I'm like, do you want dessert? And she's like, no, I can't. I'm so full. And then right as I'm about to eat mine, I see her fork crossing the table into the no-fly zone. And she says the same thing every time. She goes, I'm just going to have a little bite. Just going to have a little bite.
When I say I'm going to bed early, what I really mean is I'm just going to another room to watch videos and memes, which I will send to you for the next 2 hours straight.
I just want the people to know I would be booing myself. All I can do is go out there and swing my way out of it and hope the cream will come to the top. 76, 77, and 78, I first admit that I didn't perform well in the postseason. I was a big part of us losing 3 in a row. I felt a burden of lack of performance in the postseason. We almost felt like, the pressure of the postseason was too much for us to handle. I know I felt that way.
Pete was news. Pete had a story. Pete had an opinion of the game. He had all that stuff. For Mike, it was just absolutely heaven. He couldn't have asked for a better situation.
He brought the press to him. They went to Pete's locker, not to my locker. And I was so glad that I didn't have that burden every night of speaking on behalf of the team.
Pete Rose, 1979, was all about positivity. And Mike fed off Pete's positivity, and he fed off Pete's never-ending monologue about how good he was and how everybody in the league knew it except him.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way from Chris Sale, who's pitching pretty well in this spring training outing so far. It's right there, first strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. High and out of the zone, 1-1. Sale's given up 2 hits. One of them was a hard hit ball through the infield, but the other one was a seeing eye single. It was kind of a Texas League blooper. The 1-1, outside wide, 2-1. Sale, 2 innings, 2 strikeouts, 2 hits allowed. The 2-1 pitch, right there, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Kicks and fires, outside wide, full count. Braves nothing, Rays nothing. Kicks and fires, swung on and grounded over towards third. Riley's got it, quick flip over to first. 5-3 put out, 1 away. One down, and Simpson comes to plate. This is the kid I've been waiting to see. I've seen a couple of videos on TikTok and Instagram Reels and all that kind of stuff showing this kid with his speed. Chandler Simpson, I just want to know, was he named after Chandler Bing, right? But Chandler Simpson is from Atlanta and went to Georgia Tech, and we didn't get this guy. First pitch on the way is up top for a strike. No, he misses for a ball. It's 1-0. Lefty-lefty matchup. He was picked 70th pick overall in 2022. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. But he has lightning speed on the base paths. More on that in a second. Last year, as the 1-1 swung on, pops it up. High back behind home plate, giving chases Baldwin, but it'll fall before he can get to it. Just behind the on-deck circle. 1-2. He is Willie Mays Hayes. I mean, he's a guy that if he hits a fly ball like he just did, they should have him doing push-ups. Last year in the minor leagues, he stole 104 bases. The year before, 94 bases. This kid can flat out fly. The same token, he has 1 home run in his entire minor league career. So you want him keeping the ball on the ground. The 1-2 swung on, chopped foul. Do it again. And I was looking at the different videos after I was alerted to who he was. Started looking at the different videos. He just gets an incredible jump, and he's got elite speed. I hope he makes the Tampa Bay team, because I want to follow this kid. I mean, he's just unbelievable. The 1-2, down and away, 2-2. and you combine Chandler and Simpson, so you got what, friends in the Simpsons. I mean, how can you not love this kid? The Braves got to find a way to make a trade for him. I guess that's where I'm going with it. I mean, he's from Atlanta, went to Georgia Tech, fastest man on the planet. Why is he not in the Braves uniform? The 2-2. Swung on, slapped over towards third. Riley's got it. He's going to have to hurry. Fires it over. Simpson burning down the line. They get him by about a step, 2 down. You'll ever see any guy who's running so fast in spring training that his helmet falls off. 2 down. The opening, who starts at catcher on opening day, I would say it's probably going to be Daniel Baldwin. First pitch on the way is a frisbee slider right there at the knees. It's 0-1. I don't care what you got to do. You got to go get this Simpson kid. We'll find a spot for him on the bench, and we'll get him enough bats. At bats is the 0-1 outside wide, 1-1. 1-1 count. I mean, basically, he's a younger version of Eli White. The 1-1. Swing and a miss over the top, 1-2. 1-2 count, 2 down, top of the third inning. Braves and Rays scoreless here at Cool Today Park. The 1-2, swung on, chopped foul. Do it again. It's being presumed that Daniel Baldwin will be the opening day catcher after the injury to Sean Murphy. I saw someone asking about that. And the big question mark is who's going to be the backup catcher. I would say it's probably Tromp. Is the 1-2 down and away. 2-2. He's had a bad spring, but he did have a good game yesterday, so that probably helped him. I feel like they're going to go with the younger guy between him and Sandy Leon. I know Leon's had a couple home runs this spring, but he's also 35 with the batting average just above the Mendoza line for his career. The 2-2 down and in, ball 3, 3-2. So Baldwin, to me, is the odds-on favorite to be the starter. And you notice he's in the lineup today with Sale on the mound. Full count, and the pitch misses down and in, ball 4. And when you figure Sale is probably going to be the opening day starter, I would tend to think that Baldwin's going to be his battery mate. Did I say Daniel? It's Drake Baldwin. Love the Drake. Hate the Drake. Gotta love the Drake. I was thinking of the actor. I saw a video of him the other day. I hadn't seen that dude in years. He pops up. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. I don't know if y'all have seen that video, but it took me by surprise. Because he looks so much like his brother did like 10 years ago. So I thought that's who it was talking at the time. It's the 0-1. Down and away, 1-1. And he comes on and he's supporting the right is the short of it without me getting all into the politics of it. I was like, what happened? Like he's always been far left wing. Like, what is he talking about? And then I finally realized, oh, that's not the older brother. It's the younger brother, the one that looks like. Because Steven looks like none of them. The 1-1 swung on, chopped foul, 1-2. 1-2 count. It's crazy how much Daniel and Alec look like each other when they were that age. So a 1-2 count. Runner at first, 2 outs. The pitch, down and away, 2-2. John, I think you were dead on as far as delaying Baldwin, and that was going to be the plan until the injury to Murphy. I think they were going to get him some at-bats down on the farm and see how he played, but because of the injury to Murphy, it's kind of forced their hand. The 2-2. Swung on and lifted high into right field. Going back is De La Cruz. Will it hold? It's going to bang off the top of the wall. And is that gone? It is. That's a home run for the Tampa Bay Rays, and it is 2-0. It hit above the yellow line there out in right field, but stayed in the ballpark as it smacked the top of the wall and ricocheted back. So a hanger just able to reach out there and pull it down the right field line. And Tampa Bay's up 2-0. Home run by Lowe's, now batting .333, the 1019 OPS this spring. First pitch on the way is inside to Eloy Jimenez. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Chopped over towards second. Ozzie Albies has it, fires it over to first, and that'll end the inning. Pushing buttons is talking about Travolta. I'm going to look that up at the break. We'll be back in a flash. The Braves trail 2-0 here at Cool Today Park.
In the South, drinking and driving does not apply to dirt roads. And if you ever hit the ditch and get stuck, I got a buddy that'll come pull you out for a pack of Marlboro Reds and a 6-pack of Natty Daddies. In the South, it's best not to ask somebody about their car unless you want to hear about all the work they've done to it over the past 25 years. In the South, if you see a cop, it's common courtesy to flash every driver you see after that to let them know that there's danger ahead. You ever seen a lawnmower going down the highway going 75 miles an hour? Do you drink your sweet tea out of mason jars? You ever seen a fight break out at a cornhole tournament? Do you or somebody you know have a finger missing because they held a firecracker too long? You might be from the South. You see a Subaru with an AC unit strapped in the back windshield, you're in the right place. If you see a John Deere tractor in the Wendy's drive-thru, you're probably in the right place. If husband and wife start looking more like brother and sister, you done got lost. That ain't the South I'm talking about. You in the wrong place.
The thing that slowly dawns on us after we watch a number of games is the absence of a clock. It's one of the several things that are quite unique about this game. There's nothing ticking away out there. We don't look at the clock and say this game is soon going to be over. The game might be over soon, and not for hours or not ever. In effect, if you keep hitting, you'll live forever because the last out will never come. I'm 70 years old now, and soon I will remember what Casey said when he was 75. He said, most people my age are dead, and you could look it up.
Casey Stengel was starting to show his age. He sometimes dozed off during games, began to mutter about his younger players. The youth of America, he said, you tell them. Here is the opportunity. And the youth of America says, where is the money? In July of 1965, the Mets organized an Old Timers Day to coincide with Stengel's 75th birthday. There were no Met Old Timers. The National League veterans who turned out had all been Dodgers or Giants.
Welcome back. Braves Country Radio, Braves Country Baseball. Drake Baldwin, the batter. Takes the first pitch high and out of the zone. It's 1-0. Lefty-righty, or righty-lefty matchup, I should say. Boyle back on the mound. Inside 2-0. Yeah, I just looked that up, Pushing. I'd never seen her before. She does look a lot like her dad. The 2-0. Kicks and fires outside wide. 3-0. Didn't get a chance to look it up. I was wondering, is she acting as well, or is she just showing up at premieres with him? 3-0 count. Pitch on the way. Down and away. Ball 4, and that'll send base runner down the line. A leadoff walk for Drake Baldwin. And Eli White, the batter. It is 71 degrees at Cool Today Park, and the wind is blowing out at 20 miles an hour right in that right field area where that home run left the building. First pitch outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. The good news, if you missed the pregame show, Jerkson Profar is going to avoid a long-term injury, it looks like, the 1-0. Just grabs the outer edge with the cutter. It's 1-1. They expect him to be ready for opening day. It is a bone bruise on his left wrist. So I would think that they'll probably rest him for about a week or so and then try to get him some at-bats before opening day. The 1-1 is inside for a strike, 1-2. It said that Eli White went around on that one. At first, I thought they were saying it clipped him. It came very close to hitting Eli, but he couldn't hold up. The 1-2 pitch is swung on. That ball's dribbled over towards second. It's off the glove of Lowe. It's going to be a tough play. I don't think he would have gotten anybody with Eli White's speed and Drake Baldwin getting a pretty good jump on that. It may be an infield single. They may give him an error. Looks like we're going to get the single, and that's the first hit for your Atlanta Braves. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. And Orlando Arcia, the batter. Batting .071 on the spring with just the one base hit for Arcia. First pitch on the way. Late swing slices it foul into the crowd. It's 0-1. On deck is Ozzie. In the hole is Riley. If we can keep the line moving, Olsen and Ozuna. The 0-1. Looks back the runner, kicks and fires. Inside. 1-1. 1-1 count. Home plate umpire Junior Valentine. We've seen him a ton over the years. He normally has a pretty tight zone. It looks like he does today as well. The 1-1. Down and away, 2-1. 2-1 count. 2 on, nobody out. Drake Baldwin standing at second. Eli White at first. The 2-1 to Orlando. Outside wide, 3-1. Love the Drake has got pretty good speed for a catcher. We know the Book of Eli can fly. Anything that gets down in the gap should tie the game. The 3-1. Swing and a miss, blew it right by him. 3-2. 100 miles an hour. Wow. Triple digits for Boyle. Full count. Orlando uses his one timeout. Might need a jetpack on that bat to catch up with that one. He was about a week and a half behind on that swing. The 3-2. Swung on and just got a piece of it. Lifts it down the line. Foul into that wind. Do it again, full count. You always get a lot of wind at these spring training games, but it is blowing out vigorously right now. They have it listed at 20 miles an hour. It's got to be up higher than that at this point. The payoff pitch. Up top, misses, ball 4. So Orlando will head on down to first. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Ducks all over the pond. Ozzie Albies coming to the plate. They're going to go out there and talk to Boyle real quick. Have a quick powwow with him. Ozzie Albies. 0 for 1, batting just 188. He'd love to get into one here. Rack up some spring stats. Tampa Bay leads at 2-0. Bases loaded. Here's the first pitch. Cutter misses up top and inside. It's 1-0. We haven't put the show cards up yet, but we are planning on bringing you both of the games in the Tokyo series to start the Major League season. Cubs and Dodgers. The 1-0. Swung on, fouled straight back. 1-1. That is going to be Tuesday, March 18th, and Wednesday, March 19th. 6 a.m. first pitch on both of those. The Braves are off on that Tuesday. We'll be doing a doubleheader that Wednesday as they will play the Yankees that night. The 1-1. Swung on, fouled straight back. It's 1-2. I think it's pretty evil that they're deciding to do the 6 a.m. ball game the day after St. Patrick's Day. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Ozzie chased what looked like a sinker or a two-seamer off the plate. Went away. One down, and Austin Riley will try to break us onto the scoreboard. Riley batting .273, 804 OPS. Righty-righty matchup. Good speed at second and third. The first pitch on the way to Riley is a cutter right there at the knees. It's 0-1. His cutter's coming in around 91 miles an hour, and then that fastball, we mentioned it earlier, is getting up to 100 miles an hour. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. If he doesn't make the squad as a starter, you could very well see him in the Tampa Bay pen, and we know Tampa Bay loves playing the extended bullpen role. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. So after loading up the bases, nobody out, Boyle strikes out Ozzie and Riley back-to-back on 7 pitches. So now it's up to Matt Olson. Olson popped out the first time up. If he can get a hold of those fastballs in that wind, that thing might land in one of your backyards. First pitch on the way to Olson is right there on the outer edge for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Yeah, those games in Tokyo are 6 a.m. because it's 7 o'clock Eastern, or 7 p.m. Japanese time. Is the 1-1? Or 0-1's outside, it's 1-1. 1-1 count. Righty, lefty, pitch on the way. Misses up top, 2-1. Two 2-1 count. Bases juiced. Here's the pitch. Out and away, ball 3, 3-1. Standing on deck is Marcell Ozuna. Braves trail 2-0. The wind-up and pitch. Swing! That ball's ripped up the middle. Past the diving glove of Lowe. And 1 run will score. It's 2-1 Tampa Bay. 2 runs will score. It is a tie ball game in your Atlanta Braves. With the Ice House ripping one up the middle. We've got runners on the corners. 2 outs and a tie ball game. Good piece of hitting there. Marcell Ozuna comes to the plate. Righty-righty match at first pitch on the way to Marcell. Is a bender down and away. It's 1-0. I'm a little surprised Boyle has not been pulled for the inning. They don't have the pitch count up there, but he has thrown a ton of pitches. The 1-0. Swung on, chopped foul in between home and third. 1-1. I would say that if he doesn't get Marcell Ozuna, they would go to the bullpen. They may not have had someone ready, especially after he got the first 2 out. 1-1 count. Kicks and fires. Misses high, 2-1. It's got to be like, I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's right. That was my pick to click pushing. Thanks for reminding me. The 2-1 pitch, swing, fouls it away. 2-2. Deuce is wild. 2 on, 2 out, a 2-2 count, and the score is 2-2. Deuces don't get much more wild than that. Marcell Ozuna digging in. Righty-righty matchup. They set up outside. Here's the pitch. Swing! That ball's lifted high into right field, but the wind won't quite get it up into the jet stream, and it'll die into the glove in right field just before the warning track. F9 in your scorecard, but not before your Atlanta Braves put 2 on the board. It's 2-2. We head to 4 here at Cool Today Park.
Just so flippin' thankful you guys are enjoying my videos, because I thought I was about to have to start doing astrology content. Ew, right? I'm not that desperate yet.
When I apologize to my husband for being a little crazy, I don't want him to say it's okay. The proper response is, you are not crazy, my perfect, beautiful, mentally stable wife.
Every month I put $40 on my kid's lunch account. It lasts my son all month. It lasts my little girl like 2.5 weeks. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? So I called the school. They said, well, right now she's got like 38 juice boxes on her tab. I'm like, that sounds excessive. So I said, what's up? Are you doing a juice cleanse, baby? And she's like, no, I'm buying those for all of my friends. I'm like, who are you, T-Pain? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. I ain't got finances to be funding a apple juice bottle service at the elementary school. So I called my wife. I'm pissed. I'm like, damn, she's got your spending habits. And she's like, what do you mean? And I told her. And she was like, that sounds like you every Wednesday night at Applebee's. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I'm driving up there now to put $40 more on it, because real recognize real.
Mike Schmidt, you know, a lot of people seem to think he's nonchalant when he misses a ground ball, but Mike Schmidt is as dedicated baseball player as I've ever played with, and I played with some darn good ones.
First thing Pete addressed to Mike was, you know, when we used to look across you in the field and see you at third, we said, man, this guy's special. And right away you could see Schmidt's eyes light up like, really? Because Schmidt never believed he was as good as he was.
To me, that just made my chest come out further and made me feel more confident as a player, and he was a fantastic teammate.
The club made a change at the top, bringing in Dallas Green as their new manager, with a look towards turning the page to 1980.
He was looking to get the best out of his players, of course. Heck, and as it turned out, it worked.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way. Lefty-lefty matchup. Chris Sale fires the one way outside the zone. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Brings it. Fastball right there on the outer edge. Didn't get the call. Looked like a strike. 2-0. This is not an ABS game, which has become par for the course here for the Braves. It's an MLB video game, so the 2-0 pitch is swung on and lifted down the line. It's going to get down for a base hit. Going for 2. Did they get him? Look like they got him. They got him. What a rocket of an arm off his back foot. Eli White guns down the runner, trying to stretch it into 2. 1 away. Lowe is a right fielder for the Rays. He's got pretty decent speed. I cannot believe that Eli White, his momentum was taking him to the foul pole in the corner, and he throws off his back foot and throws an absolute P to Ozzie, who tags the runner sliding head first. Wow. If this wasn't spring training ball, I guarantee you that would be one of those dun-na-na, na-na-na. The 1-0. Right there at the knees for a strike. It's 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Meade, the batter, the hottest hitter on the planet, batting .727. He's 1 for 1 today. The pitch. Belt high for a strike, 1-2. He was taken all the way. You know you're hitting .727 when you lay off a pretty good pitch because you just don't like it. The 1-2. High and out of the zone, 2-2. 2-2 count. And I was joking about him a couple weeks ago. Now you got to take him seriously in your fantasy leagues. The 2-2. Foul straight back. We'll do it again. The 2-2. Just below the knees. Full count. Full count. Here's the pitch. Inside, did he get him? Regardless, it's ball 4. Almost got him right there on the elbow, and he'll head on down to first. Yeah, I'll take that as a click, John. When you throw someone out, and remember, he's already scored a run and got a base hit, so our definition of a click has always been if you get in the column with 2 or more, meaning a run, a single, 2 bases, anything like that. First pitch on the way is swung on. That ball is ripped up against the center field wall. Poorly played by Harris. I'm not sure what happened there. He's going to get it and get it back into the infield just in time to keep Meade from scoring. Meade had to hold up on that one. And they've got runners on second and third, 1 out. Chris Sale struggling here in the 4th. He misplayed it off the wall and overplayed it. The ball smacked off the wall and started to bounce away from him. And Harris, luckily that ball didn't go too far off the wall. He was able to corral it. They're going to go up there and grab Sale. He may come back for the 5th inning, but his work is done here in the 4th. We'll be back in a flash to introduce the right-hander coming in from the pen. Second and third, 1 out here in Braves country.
4 years I've had you. You think I'm going to give you up now? I ain't got time to train another.
This stupid phone just keeps telling me that my cloud storage is full.
Delete some stuff.
Delete what, genius? It's in the cloud. It's not even real. What am I supposed to... Why are you laughing at me? What? What's so funny? That's a real thing. What am I supposed to do?
Just delete some stuff, Dad. It's online. It's real. It's just online.
Where
Stored on, servers, okay? It's not literally in the sky.
Okay, so you're telling me there's some faceless nerd who's got my pictures and my files in his parents' basement, and he's got all my How am I supposed to go find that motherfucker and go clean up?
You can just pay for more storage.
Oh, that's great. Just give them more of my money. You know what? I'm just going to go back to writing regular letters with a pencil and a piece of paper and a stamp.
Hey, you sure you don't want to ink and quill too, Grandpa?
Yeah, I might do that.
Yeah, let me get a pigeon for delivery too.
Keep it up, and there's going to be some stone tablets coming your way that say, get the out of here.
It's a new month. But honey, you still ain't got that dog in you. Maybe next month.
But why not just use food coloring for the beer? Because beer's not a food. When was the last time you ate a beer? When was the last time you drank paint? Have you been drinking paint? No. Let me see your tongue. Oh my God, dude!
In 1980, it was a year in my career that sort of defined me as a player.
If you look back at 1980, there were a lot of ups and there were a lot of downs. It wasn't like they sailed right to the division title.
As Philadelphia yo-yoed half a game ahead and then half a game behind Montreal in the National League East.
Main adversary that year was the Montreal Expos.
As for the Expos, they gained a first-place half-game lead. With 3 games remaining against Philadelphia, the final 3 days of the season.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. A right-hander coming on. I have not seen him pitch this spring yet, Luis Vargas. And there's already an issue. I'm thinking it's pitch calm. Yeah, he's digging in his hat. Give us a chance to tell you about Mr. Luis Vargas. 22-year-old. He's been in the Braves system the last few years, and looks like he's ready to dig back in. He got the pitch com thing worked out. Last year, he was in Rome, and as the first pitch on the way is right up top for a strike. It's 0-1. He was in the Augusta in the Carolina League, and Rome. The 0-1, swung on, fouled back. It's 0-2. And he primarily was on as long relief for a starter, but he's coming in now, I would say, to just get an inning or so, unless they're going to put Sale back out next inning. You never know. The 0-2, fastball, fires it right down the pipe. And it's foul back out of play. We'll do it again. In his stints last year, he averaged about 1 strikeout an inning. The 0-2. Down and away. 1-2. 65 strikeouts in 64 innings in Rome. And before he got to Rome in Single A, he had 31 innings and 39 strikeouts. The 1-2 swung on, lifted, high and deep into right field, going back on the track. That ball's going to get over the head of De La Cruz, and that should score 2 runs. Got up into the wind there, and runner is safely at second as Arcia applies the tag. And the Rays, well, excuse me, 3-2. The runner at second is only at third. I don't know how in the world he must have gotten a bad read on it. I'm looking at an alternate view, and it looks like he thought that ball was going to be caught, so he was tagging up when that ball went over the head of De La Cruz. First pitch on the way is a fastball outside wide for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Off the plate wide, 1-1. Last year, Vargas's ERA was 4.04, 4.08 in AAA, 3.45 in AA. So not looked upon as a big-time prospect at this point, just someone they're trying to get some work and see how he might fare against major league hitters. The 2-1, down and away, 3-1. 3-1 count. The infield is in, 1 down, runners on second and third, and the Braves trail by 1. The 3-1 brings it, swing, pops it up, high in the sky, into right field, up in that wind. De La Cruz will make the catch just before the warning track, but that should score the run with ease. It does, and it's 4-2. His momentum was taking him back anyways, but that was a long throw, and he's trying to throw into the teeth of the wind that is whipping out towards right here at Cool Today Park. On the throw, the runner at second heads to third, so you got runner at third, 2 outs, and Chandler Simpson coming to the plate. We talked about him when he first came up. We can just call him the Flash. 104 stolen bases last year in the minor leagues. First pitch on the way, swung on, pops it up. And Willie Mays Hayes, oh, he's going to get lucky. Riley could not corral the ball. It was a can of corn, but it was swirling in that wind, and it pushed it away from Riley. It'll stay in foul territory, but it will fall. It's 0-1. That wind is pushing it ball hard. He ran around the batter, the runner on third base initially because he thought it was going to go over in that direction, and then the wind just shoved it towards the foul line. The 0-1 is sliced foul. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Righty, lefty. Here's the pitch. This is outside 1-2. Rays 4, Braves 2, top 4. Vargas comes set. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. That'll end the inning. Telling you, if I'm a Tampa Bay Rays coach, I tell Simpson, don't swing at anything that's above your belt. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
I went from happy to angry. Skip said, now I feel like kicking his ass. Struggling in the World Series 1966 Los Angeles Dodgers. In the 4 games that were played, they managed only 2 runs. They were shut out for the last 33 innings of the series. That is almost the equivalent of 3.5 games without a run. The Orioles scored more runs in the first inning of Game 1 than the Dodgers did the whole series. They batted 142 as a team and managed only 17 hits. They had only 4 extra base hits and 120 at-bats. Jim Lefever's home run in the top of the second inning of Game 1 was the only Dodgers run scored on a hit. The other one came from a walk the following inning. The World Series MVP, Frank Robinson, had more home runs and RBIs than the entire Dodgers team. The Orioles only used 4 pitchers in the series. 3 of the 4 pitchers never allowed a run in 24 innings of work.
Armchair.
We had to go up to Montreal, and we had to win 2 out of 3.
And in the opener of the Do or Die series, Schmidt made an immediate statement. In a tight game, the solo home run proved to be the difference. The next night was a back-and-forth affair, with the Phillies tying the game in the 9th, and then Schmidt coming to the plate in the top of the 11th.
Everything was just kind of like a burden on my shoulder. 76, 77, and 78 postseasons were awful. I couldn't go on with the same record that I had leading up to that.
Long drive, what's that, baby? Home run! Mike Smith! Phillies lead 6-4! He buried it! He buried it!
It was the first time in my career where I felt like I had proved not only to myself, but to Philly fans that I could play the game and play it well under pressure.
Braves Country Welcome Radio. Back.
Your home for the classic.
Thanks for giving us the news there, John.
Country Baseball.
John saying that as the first pitch on the way is a strike on the inside track to Michael Harris II. It's 0-1. Sam Darnold signing a 3-year deal to go to Seattle. The 0-1. Swung on, chops it over towards first. Backhanded by Diaz, flips it over. The pitcher covering the mound, covering the bag. It's going to be a nice 3-1 put out. 1 away. Biggie is in the game now. We saw him the other day, right-hander. They were talking about Kupp as possibly restructuring a deal and staying in Los Angeles because he really likes playing there. First pitch on the way is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. If they somehow have Adams, Kupp, and Nakua, look out. Because they were the closest team to beating the Eagles last year. The 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. 0-2 count. I'm still convinced if that game's in Los Angeles that the Rams head to the Super Bowl. The 0-2 swung on, chopped over to third. Grounder almost eats up the third baseman over there, Meade. Good play to stay with it. 5-3 put out, 2 down. Drake Baldwin coming to the plate. Braves trail 4-2. Biggie, the right-hander, comes set, kicks and fires. Swung on and sliced foul down the line. It's 0-1. Drake Baldwin batting .333. Walked his first time up. The 0-1. Swung on, chopped it just down the right field line, and that's going to get through. That's going to be a base hit. Could be extra bases. Here comes Baldwin flying around first, heading to second. It's going to be a stand-up double for Drake Baldwin. Good piece of hitting there. He does such a great job of using the entire field. I've noticed this a few times watching him this spring. If he's pitched to the outside, he slaps it to the outside. Eli White, 1 for 1. Single and a run scored. First pitch on the way to Eli, swung on and ripped over to third. It's going to be a 5-3 putout. That'll end the inning. So the Braves get one in scoring position, can't do anything with it. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. Time to turn back time. On this date in 1941, the Brooklyn Dodgers announced that they will begin wearing batting helmets at the plate. The safety gear will not be mandatory in the senior circuit until 1954, with the junior circuit, the American League, following suit 4 years later. On this date in 1951, J. Edgar Hoover, longtime director of the FBI, declines the baseball commissioner's post. President Calvin Coolidge appointed him in 1924, and the nation's top cop remained with the FBI until his death in 1972. On this date in 1962, in St. Petersburg, Florida, at Al Lang Field, the ballpark the team shares with today's opponent, the New York Mets, played their first Major League exhibition game, dropping an 8-0 decision to the St. Louis Cardinals. New York's National League expansion team sent Jay Hook, Clem Labine, and Craig Anderson to the Hill, giving up 12 hits, including 2 home runs to Minnie Minosa and Gene Oliver. And on this date in 1963, in an exhibition game between the Chicago White Sox, the 21-year-old rookie Pete Rose goes 2 for 2 in his first 2 appearances in a Reds uniform. The future hit king will be named National League's Rookie of the Year later on in 1963. And that's your Braves Country Radio on this date in baseball history. Find us on YouTube and Facebook today.
You don't like the Drake?
I love the Drake.
How could you not like the Drake?
Who's the Drake?
The Drake is good.
Welcome back. I knew we had that clip somewhere. I could not find it. Finally figured out where it went to. That's our new clip for Drake Baldwin this year, the Drake. Yandy Diaz, the batter. First pitch on the way is swung on and ripped into left field, down for a base hit, and it's a leadoff single against Dylan Lee, your new pitcher. Appreciate it. So our new TikTok account is, we're starting them off and doing, those videos you're seeing, those are coming from our TikTok account. When we get that number to large enough where we can do lives, we're going to do the post-game show on TikTok. Until we get it to that, then we're not going to worry about a post-game show. The 0-1 swung on and lifted high into left field. Coming over, making the catch is Eli White. One away. When we do start them, we'll probably share them to other platforms, but we're trying to build the TikTok page first before we do that. So if you are on TikTok, if you can go over and just like Braves Country X, it's much appreciated. We just started, so there's only 2 followers right now or whatever. First pitch on the way. 1 on, 1 out, is swung on and fouled down the line. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Jimenez, the batter. Open stance from the right side. The pitch swung on and ripped down the third base line. Just foul. That's just about a foot to the right. That's extra bases and probably a run. It's very strange. You do not see a lot of right-handed batters with an open stance. And I was wondering about this the other day because we saw Jimenez, so I went back and looked at some of his video from a couple of years back. He did not normally have that much of a pronounced open stance. As the 0-2 swung on and lifted high. Coming over, making the catch is Michael Harris II. He only had to make a few steps back to his left. Perfectly played, 2 down. So I wonder if it's something that he has purposely done or if it's something that he's just gradually adjusting to with that huge open stance on the right side, because you don't see it a lot from right-handers. First pitch on the way is a lefty-lefty matchup. To low, it's 0-1. The 0-1. Due up in the Braves. Bottom of the fifth, it'll be Orlando, Ozzie, and Riley. Is the 0-1 right there? First strike, it's 0-2. Good to see you, Gary. The 0-2. Lee fires a pitch, swing and a miss, strike three, and that'll end the inning. So Dylan Lee gives up a single when he first comes on, but after that it's 1, 2, 3. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. Here are your 2025 National League West Pagoda projections. Sitting in last place and expected to have one of the worst records in all of baseball, the Colorado Rockies are projected at 54.6 wins, 107.4 losses. The San Francisco Giants are looking at fourth place with 78 wins and 84 losses. While the San Diego Padres are coming in at 86.7 wins and 75 losses. Arizona, the Diamondbacks are expected with 87.4 wins and 74.6 losses. And the LA Dodgers are being projected at 104 wins and 58 losses. Braves Country Radio 2025 NL West predictions look like this. We'll keep the Rockies in last place, hovering around 58 or 59 wins. The San Diego Padres will continue to look to sell off and could hurt them at the trade deadline. So we'll put them at fourth place, coming in with about 75 to 78 wins. We'll put the San Francisco Giants in third and look for them to flirt with the wild card at around 80 to 81 wins. The Arizona Diamondbacks will be looking up at the Dodgers like the rest of the baseball world with about 86 wins. We'll have the Dodgers at about 102 as they take the foot off the gas heading towards October. And that's your Braves Country Radio 2025 Pagoda projections. Make sure to tune in Wednesday, March 26th for Braves Country Radio's 2025 preview show. We'll do predictions for all 30 Major League Baseball teams, give you our picks for division winners, wild card teams in the National League and American League, along with MVP and Cy Young predictions. That's Wednesday, March 26th, right here on Braves Country Radio. Welcome back. First pitch to Orlando Arce is high and out of the zone. It's 1-0. Righty-righty matchup. Braves trail 4-2. Biggie back to work. The 1-0 is fisted towards second. Soft line drive out. L4 in your scorecard. One down. One down. Ozzie Albies 0 for 2 on the day stands in from the left-hand side, open stance. First pitch on the way is a strike right down the pipe, about letter high. It's 0-1. The 0-1 brings it, swung on and ripped over towards second. Should be an easy play. It is. 4-3 put out. Low to Diaz, quickly 2 down. 2 away. If you're not in the chat here on YouTube, appears that the Jets have signed Justin Fields to a 2-year deal. John, did you see what the numbers were on that? Is the first pitch on the way is swung on and chopped foul down the third baseline? It's 0-1. If it's nothing outrageous, it's not worth it could be worth a flyer. The question I have is that they were saying is the 0-1 pitch swung on and ripped over towards first. That's going to get through. It's going to be a single just past the glove of Diaz. And your Atlanta Braves have one on, 2 out. Austin Riley with the single. Just kind of dribbled it past the outstretched glove of Diaz. They had him played well over. Anything to that side was going to get through. Matt Olson, your batter with 2 home runs here in the spring. Righty lefty, first pitch on the way is outside wide. For a ball, it's 1-0. I guess they're hoping to get lucky like the Bucks did when they signed Baker Mayfield, but I don't see that being a parallel. The 1-0. Swing, fouls it straight back, 1-1. 1-1 count. You know, the shame of this whole thing is, if you're into fantasy sports and whatnot, what a waste of a career Garrett Wilson's going to have if he continues not to have a quarterback that can get him the ball. 1-1. Change up for a strike on the outer edge, 1-2. Wide strike, but not a big complaint by Olson. I think if that's a regular season game, he'd have a little more complaint. It was high and out of the zone. The 1-2. Misses high, 2-2. That was going to be my guess, 20 a year. But it does pigeonhole you to where you can't really go out and sign anybody else of worth. The 2-2. Misses high, 3-2. What they could be doing is setting themselves up to draft a quarterback. Saw that the Bills extended Josh Allen. The payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. The Braves get one on, but can't do anything with it. We'll be back in a flash, trailing 4-2. Top of the 6th we go.
So, apparently, a at-home DNA test kit is not an appropriate gift for a baby shower.
I was drafted number 1, power forward in college. Came to L.A. I was not arrogant. I wasn't overconfident, but I was like, I'm going to start. I'm just telling myself, building myself up. I walk in the gym, there's Kareem, Magic, Jamal, McAdoo, and then I see Kurt Rambis. And I was just looking at it. I'm quicker. I'm faster. I can score. He had these glasses on with like duct tape, like keeping them together. He had all these apparatuses to keep his elbows from bending, and he smelled like Ben Gage. I got this spot. Within the first 10 minutes of practice, Kirk showed me what an NBA power forward was all about. I said, that. And I said, Jamal, you next. I said, Jamal, you next.
It's currently day 2 of having a make-believe argument in my head with a stranger who was slightly rude to me yesterday, and I'm proud to say that I'm winning.
I don't believe there was ever a postseason more exciting than the Phillies and the Astros in 1980.
The big man who really has been struggling. Only 1 RBI in the series.
In the final game of that series, we are down 3 runs in the 8th inning. Then a little rally started, and here I come up to the home plate, and they bring a guy named Ken Forsch.
The world is watching Mike Schmidt right now as Ken Forsch warms up.
And Ken Forsch threw me a couple of sliders.
Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Strike 2. Strike 3. Let him pitch.
On a cold third strike.
Please like and subscribe today. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. John, ain't nobody wanting your kidney or your liver, man. You've beaten that all to hell. First pitch on the way from Daysbel Hernandez is up top for a strike. It's 0-1. Righty-righty matchup. Daysbel Hernandez raises his lightning blue glove. Swung on. That ball's ripped over to first right at Matt Olson. We were on a shift. He'll step on the bag for the first out. We were on a shift, and it was an atom ball. If it's hit anywhere other than right at Olson, it's probably trouble. One down, Danny Jansen, excuse me, the batter. Righty. Daysbill kicks and delivers. Fastball right there at the knees. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Kind of a half-hearted check swing through the zone. 0-2. Really good chance that Daysbill Hernandez is in the back of the bullpen this opening day. Like a 7th, 8th inning guy. He did very well down the stretch last year. The only question is the 0-2 misses outside 1-2. He struggled a little bit this spring, but it's more the fact that he has options that they can send him down to the minors. And so few of the other guys do. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 away. But I would just like to see him, if he deserves to be there and he's pitching well enough, I say put him up there and we'll deal with sending some of these guys down, see who will make it through waivers. Because I just think you send the wrong message to a guy if he's pitching well and he deserves to be up there and you're holding on to him because you're assuming one of the other guys is going to fail. First pitch on the way outside wide to Carson Williams. The shortstop for the Rays, it's 1-0. Righty-righty matchup, the 1-0. Right down the pipe for a strike, 1-1. Junior Valentine is so short that he doesn't really have to crouch behind Drake Baldwin at home plate. And when he does raise up, it doesn't make much of a difference. The 1-1 swung on and dribbled in the infield, just left of the second base bag on the play. Ozzie backhands it and fires it across his body, and the runner will beat the throw by about a half step, 2 down. Runner at first, 2 outs. Caballero, Jose Caballero, the left fielder, standing in. Righty-righty, first pitch on the way. Left fielder takes it up top for a strike. A little bit of an inside call. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Right there on the outer edge, 0-2. Yeah, Spry, where are the Giants drafting? Are they third or somewhere in that neighborhood? Because I know the Titans had the first pick. And I, as a Titan fan, do not want them to draft a quarterback. I think this quarterback class is just trash. I don't want anything to do with it. The 0-2. Down and away, 1-2. I feel like they're going to draft a quarterback, and they're probably going to draft Cam Ward, but I just don't think he's a number 1 pick. So a 1-2 count. Runner goes. Ball gets away, and that'll make it for an easy stolen base for Williams and the Rays, getting him into scoring position. Pitch missed the zone by a mile, so it's 2-2. Ozzie was trying to deke him into thinking that the ball was a foul ball and get him off the base. The second base umpire over there straightened him out because he did not see the play. He went head first, saw the ball get away, and he was thinking the ball had been fouled off. The 2-2 lifted over towards short, kind of a slow bending hop. RC is going to have to hurry it, fires it over to first, and that'll end the inning. So they get one in scoring position, but Hernandez keeps it at that. It's 4-2. Braves will grab the sticks when we return.
You know, my bank account be looking like people's going to be getting text messages for Christmas. And that is if my phone is still on.
Can I make you some tea? Yeah, sure. All right, we have green tea, detox, and chamomile. What did you call it? Chamomile. It's chamomile. Wait. I texted everyone.
And this is a tip that I learned from my high schoolers today. And someone said, that's unk status. And I said, unk status? Like, what is that? The class was like, like uncle. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, because, like, uncles are older. Okay, sure. I was like, well, what about me makes me an unk? And they said, the fact that you had to ask what unk is gives you unk status.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
It is hard to believe.
There are no words needed for that picture of Mike Schmidt.
As great a moment the home run in Montreal was, this was as bad a feeling on the other end as I could possibly have.
But he was the guy that got us there. Without Schmitty, we don't get there. And, at the time you try to say, hey, hang in there, man. Things are going to turn around.
Here is Unser now with 2 out and the tying run at third.
One of the biggest hits I ever got in my life. I didn't get it. Del Unser got it.
It's a base hit to right center, and we're tied at 5.
We end up tying the game that inning, and in extra innings, we ended up winning it.
Phillies win it.
So Del Unser got the biggest hit of my career.
I know I was some dead weight out there in that game today, Don. Some real dead weight, and that proves what kind of heart this team has.
It will be Philadelphia against Kansas City in the World Series starting Tuesday night.
Welcome back. Marcell Ozuna, the batter. First pitch on the way is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Seabold, your new pitcher, comes set. The right-handed arm lifts and fires high and out of the zone. 1-1. Connor Seabold, drafted by the Phillies in 2017. Plays college ball at Cal State Fullerton. 1-1 down and away. 2-1. Pitched with Boston in 21 and 22. And then with Colorado last year, he was out of Major League Baseball last year. 2-1. High and inside. 3-1. Dealing with injuries last year. Three-1 count from the right-hander, kicks and fires. Swing, that ball's lifted into center field, drifting back, over the head. That's going to get down where the green grass grows. Here comes Marcell Ozuna, trucking, and he's got a leadoff double for your Atlanta Braves. Hard hit ball. He just got that over the attempted leaping glove of Chandler Simpson. I've heard nothing about Simpson's ability to field. All I know is he's a great base runner, so I don't know if that might be a factor in him not making the team either. Righty-lefty matchup is Michael Harris II fires off at the first pitch he sees and slaps it back foul. It's 0-1. That wind is now going left to right, and all 3 flags out there in left field, the Braves flag, the United States flag, and the state of Florida flag, are all standing at attention. The 0-1, outside wide, 1-1. Coming in to pinch run for Ozuna is Exposito. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Down and in. 2-1. Good hit by the big Zoo there. I mean, he scorched that ball. Honest engine. If that wind isn't there, it probably gets over that wall. And it got over Simpson's head in a hurry, and he's got speed. There's no doubt about that. As far as his ability to play the ball off the bat, I've not seen. The 2-1. Kicks and fires. Swing! That ball's hammered over to second. It's going to be an easy 4-3 put out. On the play, Exposito will head on down to third. With one out. The Braves trailing by 2. The infield should play back with Brian De La Cruz coming to the plate. De La Cruz, who's batting .318 this spring, is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. First pitch, swung on and dribbled over to first. That's going to get him an RBI. The first baseman on the play, who is in for Diaz, his name is Seymour as well. He thought about coming home, but Exposito easily scores, and it's 4-3. Braves trail by 1. The infield was not in, and it was a slowly hit ball. I don't know why he was even thinking about going home. I was hoping that we were going to get that throw. It could have opened up to a very big inning. 2 down, and Drake Baldwin comes to the plate. First pitch on the way is swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 0-1. Until a couple of days ago, Drake Baldwin was the only player in spring training who had over 25 at-bats and no strikeouts. He struck out the day they released that tweet. But that's pretty impressive for a guy that, from what I have seen, usually goes deep into counts. He's very selective with the pitches. He's not a first pitch ambusher type. The 1-1. Inside 2-1. And that to me would be, I'm more and more pulling for Drake Baldwin to take over that job, at least get the halvesy splits with the way they used to do Murphy and Darno, because the 2-1 inside, 3-1. If a guy's up there taking pitches and working his way aboard, that can be contagious. And we need more guys that are willing to work the count and not just give away at bats every time. 3-1 count. Righty, lefty. Here's the pitch. Outside wide ball 4, and just like that, just like what we were just talking about, he works his way aboard. And that's not nothing. If you can get a guy in the middle or the bottom third of your lineup that can work his way aboard and keep that line moving, and a guy that hits to all fields, he's not going to hit for a ton of power. I don't think he's a batter that any time in the near future is going to hit 20 home runs. I think he's a guy who's going to hang out around the 10 home run mark as an everyday catcher, maybe 15. But if he's slapping the ball to all fields and getting on base, and he's a good base runner, we'll take that all day long. Righty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way to Eli White is up top for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Lando Arcia standing on deck. The pitch swung on and lifted high in the sky into right field, and that'll easily be caught, and that'll end the inning. But not for your Atlanta Braves. Cut the lead in half. It's 4-3. Tampa, we go to the 7th inning in a fast-moving game here at Cooler Day Park.
There are women who willingly go with their man into Twin Peaks. I just passed it and saw 2 women with their man bebopping on in. Girl, if he tells you he is there for the food, I am a natural blonde.
The Irish goodbye, the most effective way to f*** off from somewhere you don't want to be.
We got an old boy down at home that runs for sheriff every term, and he never could get sheriff. He'd make a fine-looking sheriff if he could just get the vote. One time he's out electioning and went up to the door, and he said, "Ma'am, I'm Ross Garrett. I'm running for sheriff." She said, "Hold it right there, Ross." Said, "I've known you ever since you was a little boy." Said, "I wouldn't vote for you if you was the last living male human being in Weakley County." Said, "You run with the wild women, you drink whiskey, and you play with playing cards. You so sorry if you was to fall over dead in the front yard, the buzzards wouldn't stop to eat you." And old Ross put his hat back on and went to the truck. And he got his little tabbed it out, and went down there beside her name, and he wrote doubtful.
Mike went into that World Series feeling the weight of what had just happened.
Schmidt looked to me like he was carrying all the pressure in the world in those playoff games. I think he was really frustrated. The Astros pitched him very well.
Wondering how Philadelphia was going to perceive him.
He has been booed in this town during the course of this year, but not at World Series time, at least not yet.
There's so much pressure he put on himself, always, but especially in that World Series.
It was a burden to have not had any success in the postseason.
Two teams who have never won a World Series square off in baseball's October showcase.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way from Aaron Bummer is outside for a strike. It's 0-1. Lefty-lefty matchup. Chandler Simpson. I just want to see the guy get on base and see how fast he really is. The 0-1. Ball goes to the backstop. It's 1-1. Lefty-lefty matchup. Remember something about Aaron Bummer. Though he's a left-hander, he is an anomaly because he is normally brought in to face right-handers. He has much better splits versus righties. The 1-1 inside. Whoa. Whoa. We'll take the strike, but I'm telling you right now, that was a terrible call. That ball hit the chalk on the left-handed batter's box. The 1-2. Outside wide, 2-2. So 2-2 count. I really thought all along that what this season would look like losing Darnode would be as the 2-2 pitch swung on, chopped over towards third, fires it down, 6-3 put out. I don't think Simpson was going all out on that run. He looked like he was just kind of gingerly jogging down the line, went away. I really want to see him open it up and see what he's got. But I really thought the way the season would play out is we'd have Drake down in the minors for a while, and then somewhere near the All-Star break, he would come up and do basically halvesies with Sean Murphy. But this might push him to the forefront. And if he plays well those first few weeks without Murphy, there's no way you can send him down. First pitch on the way is out there for a strike. It's 0-1. John says Sean has to be a little nervous. I mean, I think he's got to be a lot nervous. 1 down and away. 0-2. The only thing that he's got in his back pocket is he's got that guaranteed contract. So he knows he's not going to not get paid. He just doesn't know if it's going to be in Atlanta or if they move on from him and try to give Drake the everyday job by next season. The 0-2. Up top. Right there for a strike. 2 away. Kind of a all over the place, up and down strike zone by home plate umpire Junior Valentine. He's probably got lunch plans, trying to hit 5 o'clock somewhere. Tanner Murray, your batter, lefty-righty matchup. If you're just joining us, this game didn't start till 1:30. It's moving along very quickly. The 1-0. As the first pitch misses out of the zone. Lefty-righty matchup. The 1-0 to Murray. Frisbee slider up there for a strike. 1-1. Tanner Kane Murray from Santa Clara, California. Played his college ball at UC Davis. He was selected in the 4th round of the 2020 draft. If you remember, that was the draft where you only had 5 rounds. As the 1-1 pitches bounced in between home and third. Kicks foul, and I guess it was foul before. Just kicked foul. Took a weird spin, almost like a cue shot. Murray hit .281 last year in 4 different levels of the minors. 6 home runs and 34 RBI in just 60 games. It's pretty impressive numbers. The 1-2, swing and a miss in the dirt, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. Well, Aaron Bummer, 1, 2, 3. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Get up and stretch, Braves country. Let's get some runs, Braves country. We trail 4-3. Christian Cairo is going to lead us off. Bottom of the 7th we go. Brings it. First pitch. Up high. Frisbee slider strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Seabold back out there, kicks and fires, swung on and lifted. High into center field, drifting back, making the catch in center field. Guess it's still Simpson out there. One away. Luke Williams, your batter. Luke. Coming on for Ozzie Albies. First pitch, righty-righty. Kicks it outside. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Fisted, foul over the first base dugout. A 1-1 count. Braves trail by 1, bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Right there on the inside track for a strike. Good cutter. 1-2. Braves came screaming back the other day, down 5-2 in the 9th. Walked it off 6-2 without an out recorded. Maybe we'll do a little bit of more of that magic here. The 1-2. Swing, fouls it down up against the screen just over the on-deck circle on the Braves side. 1-2. Luke Williams is in for Ozzie Albies. Standing on deck is Batten, who's in for Riley. And McCabe is in the hole for Olsen. The 1-2 just misses outside. 2-2. As wide as his strike zone's been this afternoon, I'm surprised he didn't get rung up. 2-2 count. Sandy Leone is in for Baldwin now, too. The 2-2. Swing. That ball's hammered down the third base line. Foul and out of play. We'll do it again. Luke Williams getting some pretty good swings here. Just can't keep it in between the lines. He's one of those guys that may or may not be on the team. You can make the argument either way for him. What he brings is position versatility and very good base runner, but very little or nothing in the bat realm. Is the 2-2's down away 3-2. He has no power to speak of, which is not always the reason why you keep a guy or not. But you do wonder if he'll end up being expendable. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, 2 down. You know, the thing that got me the other day was I saw a video of, and I just kind of forgotten that he was still out there. Anthony Rizzo is still a free agent. And they had someone was taking a video of him running down the sidewalk in one of the spring training cities where he was just out for a jog in the morning to try and stay in shape. First pitch on the way is outside wide to Batten. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Pitch grabs the outer edge for a strike. It's 1-1. Welcome to the country club. Got a handful of members via James. The 1-1. Pitch on the way. Swing. Fouls it down the right field line and out of play. Braves 3, Tampa Bay 4. Batten digging in. The third baseman in for Austin Riley. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Blew it right by him. That'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the 8th, trailing by 1 here in Braves country.
If you Snapchat a picture of your thing to your boy, and he screenshots it, who's gay?
Sir, for the love of God, please stop commenting to this drive-thru!
Every time I get one of you fetuses' comments that's like, she really looks her age, you look my age. You're supposed to be squeezing pus out of zits right now. You're squeezing filler into your lips. It looks ridiculous.
I'm gonna my pants, but that's okay.
No, actually, that's not okay. There's not a world that exists where that would be okay.
Well, in this world, it does exist. This is real. You gotta embrace it, because I'm not getting out of this vehicle.
You don't a car.
All men are forced to make difficult decisions. This is mine. We're too close. Oh, there she was.
Jesus Christ! Are you serious?
To be fair, this is like my beach in Norman.
No, it's not. This isn't heroic. This is bad stomach management.
Kansas City Royals were supposedly the best team in baseball that year. George Brett had a fantastic year, an MVP year. The series was built up a little bit about Brett and myself.
I didn't like him. I really didn't like him at all. Hearing a lot about him in the National League as a third baseman, I was American League third baseman, and you play against him in the All-Star games, and I wanted to outdo him. I wanted to be better than him, and he upped me almost every game.
It's popped up. Mike Schmidt taking charge in foul territory. Wow. Mike Schmidt has it big.
He made some great plays in the World Series against us. He looked very calm and collective out there.
Schmidt needed that 80 World Series, especially after failing big time in the NLCS, that he needed to bounce back.
There's a pitch drilled high, base hit by Mike Schmidt on a 2-2 pitch. Is Mike Schmidt finally coming alive?
Welcome back to Braves Country Radio. Atlanta Braves. Some of these clips just get me. I don't hear them all because sometimes I'm doing 100 different things during the breaks, but some of them just make me bust a gut. We've added what? I think I added close to 600 clips this off season. First pitch on the way from Jake Diekman. Lefty-righty matchup is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Mateo, the batter. He is in for Jimenez, the designated hitter. Angel Mateo. The 1-0. Slice back foul, 1-1. Diekman is one of those guys that has a definite chance of making the opening day roster. He's a veteran left-hander. He has a career ERA just under 4 at 3.91. Now, last year was rough for him, 5.63. The 1-1 right there on the outer edge, 1-2. And he's 38 years old, so he doesn't have a ton left in the tank. You got to like anybody whose nickname is Gutted Out. The 1-2 off the plate, 2-2. Two count. Here's the pitch. Down and in. Full count. You got to figure guys like him have the inside track as long as they pitch well in the spring, because you start the season off with these guys and see how they do, see how much they've got. And if they get injured or whatnot, then you've got the guys down in the minors to go grab. But I don't see the Braves as... Looks like we're getting rung up on a strike three. Too much time taken for the batter. So that's one of those clock strikeouts. It is awarded to the pitcher. One away. Cameron Misner now the batter. So Mateo rung up on strikes, though the pitch was not thrown on that full count. First pitch on the way is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. But you know, well, if you listen to the preseason show that we did right before spring training began, we went over the fact that the last 2 years is the 0-1 is down and in for a ball. It's 1-1. The last 2 seasons, the Braves have averaged using 29 pitchers. So that you go to the post with just 13 on opening day, you know you're going to double that and then some. Is the 1-1 is right there for a strike down Main Street, 1-2. You got to have depth to get through that 162 game grind. The 1-2 in the dirt, 2-2. You got a couple of newcomers coming in. Good to see Nicole. And who I thought I saw a couple others join the chat. True. 2-2. Just misses inside. That pitch was a lot closer to a strike than a couple of the others we've seen today. Full count. Diekman delivers. Inside, ball 4. So 1 on and 1 out. Braves trail by 1. Top of the 8th. Here in Cool Today Park. Overcast day. As we started this on a 30-minute rain delay. First pitch was 1:30. Showers covered the area early this morning. Chris Sale, if you missed him, he went 4 innings today. This is the first pitch on the way. Is off the plate wide. For a ball, it's 1-0. The 1-0. Chris Sale went 3 1/3, 4 runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. So not his best work. So the 1-0's dribbled over to third. Shoots it across the infield. Bad throw, but a great scoop over there at first base. Wow. Batten was having to rush the play and threw off his front foot, and it was a long one-hopper to McCabe that almost handcuffed him, and he was able to stay with it. 2 down. The runner at first goes to second, goes into scoring position, and Kenny Piper's your batter for the Rays. A good defensive play. First pitch on the way, swung on and roasted down the left field line. It's 0-1. James, I always forget what part of Carolina are you in? Because I'm actually moving that direction. Are you on the East Coast? Are you Western? Or is he 0-1? Lefty, righty. Kicks and fires. Inside. 1-1. I started to pay attention to the weather up there in the... We're heading to the Western Carolina region. 1-1 count. Pitch on the way. Right there for a strike, 1-2. Rutherford County. That's so funny how many names are shared with North Carolina and Tennessee. There's a Rutherford County in Tennessee, and I know there's a Hendersonville in both Tennessee and North Carolina. The 1-2, swung on, pops it up, high in the sky, drifting over, making the catch, and that'll end the inning. So the Braves keep them off the board. We trail by 1. We got 2 more swats at this. It's 4-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th here in Braves country.
That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask
why.
why.
A job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry,
okay? Y'all really think you're going to sit here with a microphone and tell me all of the things that I've done wrong and without going over the right? This is not your job.
I was in a bit of a flow, bit of a hot streak, so I was feeling pretty good.
Schmidt reached base 3 times in the Phillies' Game 1 win. Then in Game 2, he came to the plate in the bottom of the 8th with the score tied and one of the best closers in baseball on the mound.
There is Quisenberry. You talk about impressive. Just look at that last statistic.
Dan Quisenberry was our closer. Rollade's relief pitcher of the year for years. Right-handers just had trouble with him. And Mike was very analytical, very smart. It looked like he made up his mind. I'm not going to try to pull him. I'm just going to try to hit it up the middle.
Right field, deep. Hartnell going back. That's going to be off the wall. It's a double for Schmidt. It's 5-4 Philadelphia.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Righty-lefty matchup. High and inside. 1-1. 1-1 count. McCabe, your batter. Nifty defensive play last inning. The 1-1 swing. And a miss. It's 1-2. David McCabe from Oshawa, Ontario. Played his college ball at Charlotte. Drafted in the 4th round in 2022. The 1-2. Outside wide 2-2. He had 2 home runs last year, 17 in the minors in 2023. Last year he was battling some injuries, only got into 35 games. The 2-2 swing, goes down and gets it, lifts it high into center field, drifting over, making the catch. For the first out of the inning, still Simpson. They still got Simpson out there. So we might get to see him hit one more time. EJ Exposito, your batter. The now designated hitter for Marcell Ozuna. He came in to pinch run for Marcell after Marcell hit one off the wall earlier. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Pops it up. high in the sky, into right field. It's up in the wind, but it'll come down right before the warning track. 2 down. Two down. Braves trail by 1. Kilpatrick on for Harris. First pitch inside for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Up top for a strike on the outer edge. 1-1. One count. Here's the pitch. Swing rattles it off the face mask of the hind catcher for the Rays. 1-2. Braves trail by 1. They got 4 outs left. The 1-2. Swing, slices that back. Foul, do it again. Braves take on the Minnesota Twins tomorrow. 1:05 first pitch. We'll come on the air at 12:45. I'm sorry, not the Twins. Tomorrow is I was looking at the wrong part of the calendar. Tomorrow's the Detroit Tigers. 1:05 first pitch. The 1-2. Swing, slices it down the line. Out of play. We're here today, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. There is no broadcast anywhere on Wednesday. The 1-2. Slice back foul. We'll do it again. We may do Saturday's game. Got a couple of things up in the air right now on what I've already promised to do. So we'll take a look at that. But regardless, we're doing the 2 Japanese series games next week, along with, I believe, 3 other Braves games. The 1-2 hit high and deep into right field. The wind will carry it towards the corner, but before the warning track, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. We're headed to the 9th, just over 2 hours into the game.
Hey, friend. I just want to tell you, I want you to take a good long look in the mirror today, and I want you to change everything. And I mean everything. You are horrible.
All right, this is what it's like dating someone who is a diehard fan of a really bad sports team. Like, my bad team is the Jets, okay? Every week the Jets come on, and my girlfriend during that time is like, do you want to watch a movie? Do you want to watch a show? And I'm like, I can't watch a movie or a show. The Jets are on. And she's like, I thought you hated the Jets. I hate the Jets. And she's just like, well, then why do you watch them? Because I have to. I have to. And then she's just like, yeah, but I hear you just complain about them all week, about how much they suck and how miserable they make you and how everybody's stupid and how much you hate them and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, listen, everything you're saying is logical. You're beautiful. You're smart. I love you. Give me the remote.
We won the second game.
Mike Schmidt has been hurt from. That may take a lot of pressure off of his shoulders.
And I was right in the thick of it there, and felt great to contribute in the postseason.
Well, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to have. It's a real feeling of confidence.
We won the first 2 games in Philly, and Kansas City won the first 2 games in Kansas City. And then it was a 2-2 in the 5th game in Kansas City.
Schmidt with a home run earlier in the 4th inning for the 2 Philly runs.
We're winning by 1 run in the 5th game. He's leading off. And our manager, Jim Fry, says, hey, he tried to bunt earlier. Don't let him bunt.
Bunts it down to third base line. Foul. How do you like that? And Brett flips the ball up as if to say, what in the world is going on?
Sure enough, I'd play in a little bit, and he hits a rocket.
Hot smash. Brett knocks it down. It's a base hit for Mike Schmidt. Tying run is on.
And the threat of Mike Schmidt bunting kept George Brett in tight at third base, even with a bag.
Next thing you know, they scored 2 runs and beat us.
And now the Phillies head back to Philadelphia, leading in this series.
Welcome back. Carson Williams will lead it off here in the top of the 9th inning. First pitch on the way. From the left-handed arm, new pitcher for the Braves, Colton Ingram. It's 1-0, the 1-0. Swung on, slapped down the third base line, foul. Colton Ingram, 28 years old, a career ERA of 8.44. But he's only had the one small stint where he pitched 5 innings in 2023 in the major leagues. He's from Columbus State, Georgia. The 1-1, chopped back towards the mound, is going to fire it over to first. Easy put out. Just went off the glove of Ingram, but he stayed with it, got behind the mound, and fired it over to first base. 1-3 in your scorecard, 1 down. He was born in Stockbridge, Georgia, and went to Columbus State in Georgia. Did Colton Ingram. 5'9", 170. So kind of a, if you're listening on radio, kind of a Billy Wagner type build. Southpaw fires one up there. Frisbee slider for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Chopper. Back over the mound. Coming over. Scooping it. Flipping it. 4-3 put out. Good defensive play over there by Williams. 2 down. That's the one thing about Luke Williams that I cannot argue against if he makes the team, is that he always seems to play very good defense. He's a good base runner. He normally fights to get on base. He doesn't give away at bats. He just doesn't have any pop in his bat when he connects. But if you can live with the guy on the end of your bench who's more of a slap hitter, is the first pitch on the way to Simpson, Chandler Simpson. It's right there, strike for the knees. It's 0-1. This is the guy that's known as the fastest guy in baseball right now at the plate. The 0-1 swung on just off the glove of Ingram, but it goes right over to shortstop, and the play will be made by Cairo. 6-3 put out. That'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Nothing doing for the Rays. Braves going to try to walk it off again. Here we go. It's the bottom of the 9th we go.
Hey, do y'all ever find yourselves having to rewind a TV show because you wasn't paying attention? Then when you play it back, you wind up not paying attention again?
I am not cutesy. I'm not demure. I'm an unhinged feral raccoon right now. Thank you.
Let me ask you this. Why was RC Cola invented? The same reason a lot of things are invented. Spite. See, in the early 1900s, a pharmacist in Columbus, Georgia, named Claude Hatcher was noticing that the soda fountain at his pharmacy was going through a lot of Coca-Cola syrup. You see, back then, pharmacies and other soda fountains would pump syrup into a glass, and they would put seltzer water on it and mix it, and you would get a fresh mix. He was going through so much syrup that he went to his distributor, a man named Columbus Roberts, and said, "Hey, I'm buying so much of this in bulk, can I have some kind of discount?" Well, Roberts said no, so Hatcher said, "Fine, I'll make my own syrup." And he did. He started with a ginger ale, and then eventually made a strawberry, a root beer, a Chero Cola, and then eventually the RC Cola that we know today.
After we won that game in Kansas City to go 3-2, I respect baseball, but we're coming home. We got 55,000 people. There's no way we're losing this game.
They need just this one victory in game number 6 to become the world's champions.
I remember seeing my dad's office the morning of the 6th game of the 80 World Series, and I said, "Dad, wouldn't it be great to go to the game?" I mean, he got 2 tickets, back row of the 648 section in the vet, but we went to that game, and that was one of the great, father-son memories I have in my life.
And there are nobody out. Bases are loaded, and Mike Schmidt, their big man in the batter's box.
I think the ebbs and flows of Mike's career got him to that point in the World Series where he finally said, "Hey, you know what? Forget everything else. We're in the World Series."
Your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back, Braves Country. First pitch on the way is a strike there at the knees on the outer edge. Righty-lefty matchup. Cloeseed, the batter. It's 0-1, the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Over the top, 0-2. 0-2 count. Englert is the pitcher. Another Mason Englert. Swung on and fouled straight back. Do it again. Well, something is terribly wrong here. Because either A, that is Mason Englert, and they've got his stats wrong, or B, that is not Mason Englert, because when you go to his page, it says he's 6'4". That guy is not 6'4". The 0-2, swing and a miss. One away. And he may be a touch over 6 foot, but 6'4"? Maybe standing on a couple of phone books. Sandy Leone is your batter. He's got 2 home runs in the spring. Started off red hot. Now he's just got 2 altogether, 2 RBIs, and batting .250. First pitch on the way is right there at the knees on the inner cut. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Englert comes set, kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Changeup got him 0-2. 0-2 count. Paulini standing on deck. Cairo's in the hole. Now, those two guys got heavily involved in that last rally that we had here on Braves Country Radio. If Leon can get on, they would probably pinch run for him. The 0-2. Outside wide, 1-2. Doing 19 games here in spring training ball for the Braves. We've also got the Japanese series with the Cubs and Dodgers on the way as the 1-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. Also, don't forget we're going to do a pre-season show, and it's either going to be the Tuesday or the Wednesday before opening day. There's still a couple things up in the air. So you'll notice there's a card for Tuesday, and you'll notice there's ads for Wednesday. It's because they can't decide at the radio stations which one they want to do. But we'll have it cleared up by next week. Pitch on the way is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Paulini trying to get on base his first at bat. Righty-lefty matchup. And then, of course, when the season starts on that Thursday, is the 0-1 right down the pipe. It's 0-2. We're going to be doing Braves Country Todays at the beginning of every series, coming on at noon, previewing the series. Then Braves Country Today in the middle of the series will come on right before first pitch. The 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. That'll end the inning, and that'll end the game. Braves lose a tough one. It was a quick one. You can tell these rain delays in spring training. When they have a rain delay, everybody swings early and often. They've got some tee times to go get. We'll see you tomorrow, 12:45 first pitch. Braves, it'll take our first look at the Detroit Tigers here at Cooler Day Park. Should be a good one. We'll see you then, Braves Country. Please hit the like and subscribe on your way out. We're here for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. We got them all this year.
Bye.